This is a statewide event. Here's what to expect as we head through the day. Snow changing over to ice, sleet and freezing rain, and then gradually to cold rain. The farther south you are, the faster that transition is going to happen. The farther north you are, you're going to get more snow, and it might just remain as that sleet as opposed to changing over to cold rain. Don't travel if you don't have to. Breezy, cold all day. Temperatures right now right around freezing, and that's the problem. Here's what we have on the radar, and it is, well, everything. We've got snow still falling intensely in the triangle, and then there's that rain, sleet, snow transition line farther to the south. It looks like a very sharp dividing line, but there's some sleet mixed in the southern part of the snow area and the northern part of the rain area. So it's gradually going to lift farther and farther to the north, but that's going to be a slow process as we head through the morning. Zooming in for a closer look at the triangle, we're still talking about mostly snow. And again, the way to tell snow from sleet, sleet's pellets, snow is flakes. Those flakes fall nearly silently. The sleet makes a sound, so if you hear something pinging off your window, or if you have to be driving, again, we don't recommend that, but if you have to, what's been bouncing off of your windshield, those are sleet pellets, which are also not fun to drive in either. But this is the problem right now, and it's going to continue throughout much of the day. Temperature just below freezing right now in the triangle. It's even colder to the north. It's going to take longer for that transition to happen. You're above freezing right now in Fayetteville and in Goldsboro, so your road conditions aren't nearly as bad as those elsewhere in central North Carolina. My drive-in was an absolute mess. The interstates are to be avoided. Try to stick to the surface streets, and even then, if you don't have to travel, don't. And if you have to, make sure that you kind of evaluate your definition of have to, because it's that bad out there right now. Winter storm warning for the pink shaded counties. It's a winter weather advisory farther to the south and east, where you could pick up an inch or two of sleet and snow, especially farther north within that blue shaded area before it changes over to rain. But within the winter storm warning, we have different hazards. We have snow right now, but it's going to be a transition to freezing rain, which can cause some power outages. And that's gradually going to lift farther and farther to the north. The heaviest snow accumulations are going to be farther to the west of I-85, especially into Person County, northwestern Orange County, and far northwestern Chatham County. So we're going to keep an eye on all of that for you. I'm going to step over to the Weather Center. Aaron Clanahan is here, and we're keeping an eye on, well, all sorts of problems. I come in from the south side of town, Johnston County, up to our perspective here just inside of the belt line. I had sleet, then a sleet-snow mix, and then all snow, and it was awful. Yeah. Probably one of my top 10 worst drives to work.
I actually texted Paul this morning. I was like, how was it? Because I was just about to leave my house, and I was coming in from the other direction.
Yeah, you come in from Durham.
Yeah, I came in from Durham, and I had mainly snow, but I did hear some ice pellets on my windshield. Like you said, you can actually hear those, and it's that really wet, slushy snow. And the road conditions where I was were horrible as well. So this is a look with our tower camera. You're looking at the belt line. The belt line is not looking good right now. Cars are going very slowly, which is what we want to see. One piece of advice I have for you is, might seem obvious, but if you follow the tire tracks of the car ahead of you, it does help a little bit. Try to stay on parts of the road where you can actually see a little bit of the pavement, and don't drive over the parts that actually have piles of snow on them, because there are some parts of town that are where the roads are completely covered. Here's another look out. This is US 1 at 64 Walnut Street. This is in Cary. Looking pretty rough here. You can tell that it's hard to see where the pavement is. You can see a few tire tracks, but overall looking pretty quiet in that area. The Durham Freeway covered in snow right now. This is at Briggs Avenue. It's also looking very quiet here. I'm not seeing any cars, which is a good thing. You definitely do not want to be traveling if you do not have to. It took me about 3 times as long as it normally would to get from my house in Durham over to work, which is in Raleigh. And that's probably what it will take you if you do have to travel this morning. This is I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road. I know there are some plows out there, but Paul and I both saw plows that actually weren't plowing. They were just driving to the location where they were going to start plowing, but hopefully things will start to get a little bit better on some of those main roads. But for now, there's just not a lot of activity of clearing happening. And this is kind of what it looks like all across town. And neighborhoods will be even worse because no one has left yet, and they'll be completely covered by at least a couple inches of snow this morning. I'll leave you with one more look outside. This is I-40 at Page Road, where there are some cars out there, I think, going a little too fast, if you ask me. Make sure if you're heading out this morning, go very, very slowly. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll be talking about your winter driving tips.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Giving some good advice. You know, the